All right, let's get started. Today, we're diving into something pretty significant in global tech, Nvidia's H20 AI chip sales to China. It's a fascinating twist. Yeah, so our goal here is to really cut through the noise, unpack what this actually means, give you the key insights on this, well, geopolitical chess match, really. This decision, it just came down July 15th, 2025, and it reverses restrictions from just, what, April?
That's right, just this past April.
And it seems to follow a pretty high-stakes meeting between Nvidia's CEO, Jensen Huang, and President Trump.
A key meeting, apparently.
Okay, but let's back up a sec. For anyone maybe not tracking this super closely,
Yep.
What is the H20 chip? Why is it so central here?
Right, so think of the H20 chip as, well, it's a especially engineered version of NVIDIA's really powerful AI processors, the ones like the H100.
The top-tier stuff.
Exactly. The absolute backbone for training these cutting-edge AI models we hear so much about. Now, the H20, it's tailored. It has reduced performance specifically to meet U.S. export rules.
Okay, so it's compliant but still useful.
Oh, very much so. Highly capable. And what's fascinating, really, is how critical this specific chip became for China. Tech giants over there. Tencent, Alibaba, ByteDance, you've heard of them.
Sure. Major players.
They rely heavily on the H20. It's vital for their AI model training.
Vital.
Oh.
Okay. And it's against that backdrop, this reliance, that things suddenly tightened up again in April 2025. The Trump administration started requiring licenses for all H20 exports. That sounds abrupt.
It was, and it wasn't just some small regulatory change. It apparently led to a pretty significant financial hit for NVIDIA, something like $5.5 billion.
Wow. $5.5 billion.
Yeah, and it sparked real worries about their foothold in China. I mean, China was, 13% of their revenue?
Which is huge, given their total revenue was around $130.5 billion.
Exactly. So that $5.5 billion loss, it starkly highlights just how vulnerable even a tech giant like NVIDIA is when geopolitics shift suddenly.
Right. It really drives home that market access can be just as critical as the tech itself. So NVIDIA is facing this massive hit. Their market share is looking shaky. How did they turn it around? What happened?
Well, the key seems to be that White House meeting, July 10th, 2025, Jensen Huang and President Trump.
Okay.
And if we connect the dots, sources suggest Huang didn't just, plead his case. He apparently emphasized NVIDIA's contributions here in the U.S., job creation, AI infrastructure, and he pointed to that massive $500 billion commitment they made to build AI servers right here.
$500 billion. That's a serious number, a powerful bargaining chip, you'd think. But was there pushback? I mean, wasn't the administration focused on curbing China's AI progress?
Well, yes, initially. The plan reportedly was for pretty stringent controls,
right,
especially after, that Chinese startup DeepSeek.
Their R1 model, that made waves.
Exactly, a big leap in large language models. So the administration was concerned. But Huang's argument apparently was persuasive. He argued that letting U.S. companies compete in China's, $50 billion AI chip market.
$50 billion.
Okay.
Would actually strengthen U.S. tech leadership, keep American companies ahead, and, crucially, prevent Chinese firms like Huawei from just dominating that space if U.S. firms were locked out.
Interesting. So the argument was basically, let us compete, or China wins anyway. Sort
of. It's a reminder, isn't it, how sometimes economic arguments, that kind of industrial strategy logic, can shift geopolitical calculations. You even saw chatter on X reflecting this, people seeing it as part of maybe broader talks with China, like a bold geopolitical move.
So putting it all together, what does this reversal actually mean for NVIDIA and for the AI industry as a whole?
Well, for NVIDIA, it's clearly a huge win, potentially restoring an estimated $30 billion a year in business in China.
$30 billion. That's, significant recovery.
Huge. And Huang himself said something like, it's really important that American companies are able to serve the market here in China. But, and this is important, sparked a lot of debate.
I bet. National security concerns. Exactly. Critics, figures like Senators Elizabeth Warren and Jim Banks, they're raising red flags. They argue that even these modified H20 chips, they still give China a significant technological foundation.
Even with reduced performance.
The argument is they still enable China to develop and train their own advanced AI models more efficiently at scale, which could potentially feed into military applications, surveillance, those core national security worries.
Right, and there's even a House committee looking into potential links to DeepSeek's success.
That's the reporting, yes. investigating those connections.
So this whole situation really highlights that complex dance between trade, technology, and geopolitics, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The Trump administration has pushed hard to limit China's tech access, but then you see moments like this, or the recent pause on tariffs.
It's true. It shows a certain flexibility, perhaps, maybe signaling a shift towards using things like chip access as bargaining tools in bilateral deals.
Chips as diplomatic leverage.
Could be. But analysts are also warning, that kind of approach, making chips part of trade deals, could create new kinds of uncertainty for companies like Nvidia down the line.
Definitely a volatile landscape. But you have to say, Nvidia's strategy here, Huang's direct engagement, it secured a critical win for them, at least for now.
Absolutely. It really underscores that delicate balance, economic interests versus national security. It's playing out right at the heart of the global tech scene, especially with this AI race just continuing to heat up.
So for you listening, here's something to think about as you follow this story. How might this tactic, using these really high-tech exports as a bargaining chip, how might that change future international trade deals, especially for critical technologies? Definitely something to mull over.